Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Campus Care Presents Group Discussion. Today's topic is the thin line between parental supervision and parental control. So, parenting is a balancing act. On the one hand, we want to give our kids the freedom they need to grow into responsible adults, and on the other hand, raising kids is a very challenging act, and we don't know how to we don't want them to get hurt or make harmful decisions that will have long-term consequences. So maybe you're the kind of parent who allow your kid to wander the neighborhood unsupervised after school, or maybe you do allow and at every extracurricular activity, practice sessions, or games. So maybe you fall somewhere in between. So either way, it can be challenging to know that where that thin line between the parental supervisions and control exists. So who'd like to go first, guys?
Mom, can I start?
Yes, beta, you can.
Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I, Davji from the Public School Sector 49, is here to express my views on the topic thin line between parental control and parental supervision. First of all, thank you so much for giving us such a relatable and a very important topic nowadays. So first, I would like to say that no parent can child-proof the world. A parent's job is to world-proof the child. So I would like to start expressing my views. Adolescence is characterized by the passage from childhood to adulthood. At this stage, it is very common and
अरे
normal
नीरू
for
पे आया
children to likely to live new
म्यूट पे है
experiences
आज
outside the family environment.
आती
But
हूँ
it
यार
is
मेडिकल
very
का कुछ भी नहीं
important
पता
that parents can understand that although physically they are
ठीक है
very
ना
grown up, but still they are
कांटेक्ट
developing the part
मैं
of
उससे बात
brain
नहीं कर रही वो
that is
उसकी बात कर रही है
responsible for decision making.
किसकी बात कर रही
Therefore,
है
children need
हाँ
parental
जी
supervision and
आई
monitoring,
डोंट
but
वांट
not
दिस मूवी
parental
जैसे होता है
control.
ना कहीं किसी को
There is a
बैठ जा
thin
बात करने
line
बोल रही हूँ
between
तो
parental supervision and parental control, which is mostly forgotten.
रोहित सब झूठ
Parents
बोल
and
रहा है
everyone should understand the
एंड
difference
आई थिंक यू
between
नो दैट
parental control
ये तो
and
उसने
parental
कुछ भी नहीं बोला
supervision.
कल के बारे
I
में
agree,
उसने
it is
मुझे
very
चुप रहने को
important
बोला
to
और उसे
see
ये
after
लगता
the
है मैं
child
चुप रहूंगी
what he or she is doing,
सो
where
व्हाट
he or
हैपेंड
she
वाज
is
कि
going, or spending his or her
मैंने
money
तुझे
and
बताया
time.
जब तो तूने
But
उसे
just
मैसेज किया
controlling them
रोहित ने
and
मुझे इतने
imposing
अजीब
your
तरीके से
views
रिप्लाई
and
करा तो मैं
thoughts is
साक्षी को बता दिया
totally
मैंने कहा क्या
wrong.
पता यही तो बताना है
Parents be
टीचर
like
और ये बात तो
snatching
बतानी
food,
पड़ेगी कि
going
वहाँ
through it,
टीचर्स है
following you,
तो
and
बात
whatnot.
बता हाउ
Me,
आर यू
also
एबल
being a
इमेजिनिंग कि
teenager,
तू टीचर
agree
बन
that
जाएगी तो वो
that's
किसी
not
को
we
तेरा नंबर
want.
दे देगी क्या
You should
अगर
trust us.
रिसेप्शन पे बैठी होगी
Parents be
तो
like
मैं
being
किसी को
too much
मैं किसी
protective
बात
and controlling, thinking that
और
they are
बोलते भी है
caring
तो
about
बोलते
their
मेरा
child.
नाम मत लेना
But the fact that they are missing
एक
their
सेकंड
child
कौन इतने
life
मैसेजेस
is
कर रहा
in
है
24 into 7.
देख लेना
From
अगर
all
रोहित
the
आए तो
teenager
अर्जेंट
side, I would like to say that
तो ये
we
बता
want our parents to
मैंने तुझे
understand us,
बताई तो
not
उसने बोला तूने
control
क्यों
us.
बोला मैंने कहा रोहित
Stop
तुम नहीं
saying that
बताओगे
what
क्या कि
society
यहाँ पे सिर्फ
says.
टीचर्स थे
Step forward
हाँ
from
सिर्फ
all the
7
gender
टीचर्स बैठे थे
stereotypes.
गिनती के
Phone are
3
not the
ऑडिटोरियम थे
reasons
बट हमें
for
सिर्फ एक
every
में बिठाया
problem.
हमें लिजिट
Stop
पानी भी नहीं बख्शा
judging us.
किसी ने हम
Parents,
स्पॉन्सर है
you
वहाँ पे
should and we
हम
want
स्पॉन्सर नहीं लग
you
रहे
to
थे
understand
हमें
us,
अंदर कैमरा लेके
supervise
जाने
us,
भी नहीं दिया हमें
monitor
अंदर
us,
बैठने तक
and
नहीं
tell
दिया
us what
भाई
is wrong and
आई
what is
डोंट
right.
नो इसने
But
एक भी
just
चीज
don't
सही
control
बोली
us because
वी वर
being
बीइंग
controlled is
ट्रीटेड
what
सो
we want.
पुअरली हम
If we
थे घर पे
wanted to
उसने
be
4 बार
controlled,
पूछ लिया आप
then
कब
why
जा
we
रहे
are
हो
even
तो
human?
हम निकल लिए
Everyone should understand the
और
thin
हम
line
बहुत
between
जल्दी
parental
निकल एंड
supervision
सेम
and
एक बजे
parental
से डेढ़
control.
बजे 9
Thank you so
और
much.
11
I
बजे
hope you
इनॉग्रेशन
have
दो
listened to
मिनट
my.
में इनॉग्रेशन होता है Thank you so much. So, who'd like to go next?
Ma'am, may I?
Yes, Lakshita, please.
Good evening. I'm Lakshita Narang, studying in Vishal Bharati Public School. Today, we are discussing a very sensitive topic, that is parental control versus parental supervision. All parents, they wish to do the best thing
दो
for
मिनट
their
का
children,
इनॉग्रेशन
but sometimes they don't even
सिर्फ 2
understand
मिनट
that
का
whether they are doing the right
तुम्हें
thing
पता
or
है
not.
तुम कितना गंदा इंप्रेशन क्रिएट कर
Sometimes
रहे
they
हो
become overprotective or sometimes they become neglected.
मैंने
But there should be a nurtural balance
बोलनी चाहिए
so that
जो
you are
आ
able
गया
to
उसने हमें
be a good
धक्का ही किया
parent.
जब हमारा काम नहीं था
When we talk about
तुझे पता है
parental
वहाँ
control and
20 से 7
parental
टीचर
supervision,
बैठे थे जिनमें से 4
most
ने
of the
वीडियो
time
बनवाई
they are
और वो
considered to be
एक तो
synonymous.
लुखे टीचर
But
होते हैं
actually,
लाइब्रेरी
there
वाले
is a
क्लास
lot of
में
difference
तो वो
between
बेच
them.
रखे थे उन्होंने
Parental
और 2 और
supervision is
ऑडिटोरियम
when
से जहाँ हमें
the
कैमरा लेके
parents
दिया
they
ये
keep an eye on their children.
बोला अभी
They
मेरा वाला
motivate
जो
them
पिंकी थे
and
वो भेज
help them they understand them. While if we talk about parental control, it's a way in which the parents they exercise the control over their child's activities. To be a good parent is very important. Parental supervision is a technique which is most often used by parents which are very assertive, who want to motivate and help their children to be the best in this world. However, some parents are aggressive in nature. They want to control their children. They want their children to work on their command. But that's not the way. If you are aggressive as a parent, then you keep on scolding and hurting your child's feelings again and again. The child may become very rebellious or even depressed. So, to become an assertive parent is very important so that you understand your children. You have to motivate them. You should never demoralize them. There is a very small gap, there is a very thin line between parental control and parental supervision, which is very important to be identified. I would like to conclude that to be a good parent, you'll have to find that line so that your children works on the best path and becomes successful. That's all for me. And now I would like to listen to others' opinions.
Uh,
Thank you so much, Lakshita. Who'd like to go next?
Ma'am, can I, ma'am? Ma'am, can I?
Okay. Yes, Aditya, you may go. I'll get back to
Uh,
you, Prachi.
okay, thank you, ma'am. So first of all, good afternoon to everyone present here. So today I Aditya Jha present here to speak on the topic the thin line between parental supervision and parental supervision and parental control. So children of our age can easily walk on that path, which can spoil their future, which can spoil their future. So in that time, in that time, guidance plays a very important role, which can make our future bright. So that's what our parents do. They guide their children, and make us in right path, which can definitely help our make, which are definitely making our future bright. According to me, every parent always try to protect their child, always try to protect their child from bad things. But sometimes their over possessiveness can change into controlling nature, and the parental supervision turn into parental control. In this type of situation, parents try to control kids in every sphere, they always said that what are you doing, what are you doing, where are you going, etc. They behave like a strict teacher, not a friend. So that's the main reason. So that's the main reason why children are hesitate to. So that's the main reason why children are hesitate to share anything with their parents. So in this type of situation, according to me, parents and children both have to understand that the mutual coordination can help fix out these things. If we want to avoid such situation, there is only one situation, that's mutual understanding. So if we want to continue that thin line between parent control and parent supervision, supervision, it is the only main solution. So that's end from my side. Now I would like to hear my other participants' opinion also. Thank you. I hope you listen me carefully. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditya. Prachi, you can, Prachi,
okay.
yes, beta, you can speak.
Discipline is a symbol of caring to a child. He needs guidance. If there is love, there is no such thing as being too tough with a child. A parent must also not be afraid to hang himself. If you have never hated by your child, you have never been a parent. For younger children, install parental control software that limits the website kids can control. But remember, no software can substitute for parental supervision. Good evening to one and all present here. Today, I, Prachi of Standard 8 from St. Karen's Secondary School, would like to present my views on the topic There is a thin line between parental control and parental supervision. Before diving into this wonderful topic, we need to understand what actually is parental supervision and parental control. Well, parental supervision is a parenting technique that involves monitoring a child's activities. But when you're talking about parental control, which is often referred as helicopter parenting, it is when you overly involve in the life of your child and hover over each and every activity of your child. We can refer to this topic as being firm and being demanding as a parent in one way. As known to wide open, parenting can be counted as one of the most difficult jobs which do not pay at all. People often get confused between the concept of having children and parenting. That's quite a tough job. These aren't the same concepts at all. Parenting comes into picture after having kids, and it's a bigger responsibility than what it is being portrayed over years. Being a good parent involves both hard and soft decisions, which can help your kids to identify what is wrong and what is right. Parents can be demanding, not in a materialistic content, but they can be good in parenting styles. There's no such thing as a perfect parent because parenting can be according to circumstantial instances. Every parent tries their best to offer the most to their children. But what is the point when the parent have the urge to understand as to there is an invisible line should be drawn between being firm and being demanding? Being firm and demanding are different aspects of parenting. Being firm in parenting is setting clear and reasonable limits with kindness, whereas being demanding in parenting could be forcing to children to reach the perfection they want to. The top CBSE schools of Pune have researched about this prospect and have come up with the conclusion as to be demanding while parenting can affect mental health and overall the behavior of children. It should be balanced. Why is it important to draw a line between being firm and being demanding in parenting? Well, the first key element is supportiveness. Being a supportive parent can offer a great deal of encouragement to children and develop interests and personal characteristics. Well, the second one comes interactions. Being a firm parent can be good as it helps your child to allow to improve their communication gaps and they can be quite nervous in telling it to anyone else. But if you are a parent who have learned to balance the gap between being demanding and being firm, you're the best parent in the world. Third point I would like to note here is regulate. Every child is different and requires different sets of parenting styles. Being firm as a parent will provide guidance to your child. But being demanding can bring a sense of rebellion to the child. A parental approach has to be regulative when and when not around people, as it can leave a major impact on your child's life. It is important as to what values parents use and teach in the early stages of children's lives, as it has an impact on their growth. It can differ from parent to parent, as it is my parent or it is your parent, as to what can suit your child. But a definitive structure needs to be understood by parents to draw that imaginary line between being demanding and being firm. Therefore, parents are the ultimate role models of children. Every word, movement, and action has an effect. No other person or outside or any stranger force has a greater influence on your child than the parent. So become the best parent of the world by drawing the thin line between parental control and parental supervision. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prachi Beta. So, do we have anybody else who'd like to speak?
Ma'am, can I go?
Yes, Aditi.
Thank you, ma'am. A very good morning, everyone. This is Aditi Shri of St. Karen Secondary School. Let's dive right into the topic. As a teenager, we go through a lot of pressure. It's a very delicate phase in everyone's life. We all have gone through it. Young children are generally incapable of looking after themselves and incompetent in making informal decisions for their own well being. For this, they require supervision or at least guidance or advice from their parents or another adult. If we take a look in the psychological arena, the excess of parental interference affects the child's ability to develop a healthy sense of self and personal identity. In contrast, behavior control refers the rules, regulations, and restrictions that the parents have for their children and their supervision and management. Illustrating this further with an example which I would like to give you in a real life. Okay, if a child is a topper, his or her parent will must be accepting, or they will think that yeah, you have to be a topper. They will force the child that you have to be it. If he comes second, they will obviously force her or him to come first. This will create a sense of anxiety and depression in the mind of the child. And of course, it will get affected. Research has demonstrated that high levels of psychological control are associated with child's internalizing problems such as anxiety, depression, loneliness, and confusion. I know parental monitoring is increasingly important as well as especially during adolescence, as adolescents spend less time with their parents and more with their peers, and they don't know what they are doing. So they keep on asking, "What are you doing? Are you eating properly? Whom have you gone with? Why you're not doing this? Why you're not doing that? Why you're studying? Why you're so much on your tablet?" And no, and all. This creates a sense of disaffectionate between a child and the parent. The child will obviously say, they already say to me, they don't like me, maybe I'm doing something, I don't like them. This is what defines the thin line between parental supervision and parental control. Every child is different and his or her needs are also different. It's important for the parent to understand the needs of the child and work accordingly to it. You are the best parent in the world. Every parent is better. You just have to understand what your child wants and what do you want. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.
Thank you so much, Aditi. So, do we have anybody else who'd like to speak?
Yeah, may I?
Yes, Ridhima.
Thank you so much. So, hello everyone. It's really nice to be here. It's a golden opportunity for me. So, my name is Ridhima Saxena and I'm from DV Public School, Sector 49, and I'm in 10th standard. So, really, very thank you for inviting me here to express my views on such a trending topic about thin line between the parental supervision and parental control. So, basically, I would start that it's not about only the parents and only the students. It's the both combination of these two. So, basically, parental supervision is very important as it's really a good plays a very important role in the future of that boy and that child, as parents tries to be make their child so successful. For that, supervision is really needed. Supervision is make them child to do as a right path. Supervision is really has a very thin and a very minor gap from control, and that has to be made in control by the parents, as parents should act in a very assertive way so that child will be friendly and they will trust each other. If they do not trust, the child will use to, and he or she has to be things and his secrets. So if parents are going to understand the adolescent age of their children, the children will be very friendly with their parents and will share everything with them with no hesitation and with no doubt. As somewhere in some cases we listen that child is having some secrets or some as points which is not being in her parents supervision, so that the reason is that there has not a good bond between them. The trust, that friendly nature is very important. So basically into this, parents should have a role, but children also strip out and share the things with the parent without any hesitation, as parents will not scold them and will not punish them for doing wrong things, but it will happen if they do things after one and another. So it's really nice that parents are nowadays are becoming so friendly with their children, but the support has to be given by both the parties, that is children and the parents. So at last I would only say that it's important that children should have the courage and they should make their parents the first friend. And parents also should have their bond with their children, that if whenever anything happening with their child, they have the first option is the parents from whom the children will need the help. So thank you so much for having so patience for my opinions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ridhima. So, do we have anybody who'd like to, add to her?
May I?
Yes, Ayush, please go on.
When you look into your mother's eye, you know that the purest love you can find on the earth is my mother. Hi guys, I am Ayush from DAV Public School Class 10. I am here to express my views on the thin line between parental control and parental supervision. Parents mostly control over activities such as television, mobile usage, computer, and outing with friends. They trust their kid, but a thought of maybe changes their supervision to control. Teenagers' social life is increased a lot by social media and hence become the main thing that the parents hate at most. Strict supervision lacks the trust between parents and their children. Due to lack of trust, some teenagers may prefer to conceal the private information from their parents. The poor communication between parents and teenagers causes a weak bond between them. So, parents who prefer to monitor their child end up losing the trust. The child will share their things when they feel right. So, give them some time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ayush. So, who's next, guys?
Ma'am, may I?
Yes, beta, please go on.
A very good evening to one and all present here. This is Torna from St. Karen's Secondary School. As my peers have already told many lines and have explained it very nicely, what is the difference between parental control and parental supervision, I'd like to give out some examples on it. I'm sure you all must have watched the movie Three Idiots, right? That was a fun movie. So in that movie, you might have seen there was a guy named Farhan. Yeah. So he wanted to pursue in photography. He loved to take pictures of animals. He loved the nature. He loved photography. But his parents enrolled him in an engineering college. At that moment, that was the time when he was training his. Their parents were training his. He was not. He was trying his best, but his parents, he was just scared of his parents. That was parental control. Parental control is basically, it's like when your parents believe that they can just tie strings to you and make you act like puppet in front of them. That's parental control, and it also has many limits. If you see parental supervision, it's like when parents support you, parents understand you. That is what you call parental supervision. They keep an eye on you, but whenever you do a wrong, they like their parents who just beat you out. They're really aggressive, and they'll beat you whenever you do a wrong. They'll scold you whenever you do a wrong. It's like this lack of trust between you and your parents, and that's what results in parental control. And trust, I believe that trust and love are only two elements which are needed to make nice bond between parent and children. If there'll be trust, there won't be needed any control over them. If Now I'd like to give one more example from our school. I'm sure that you all might have noticed this. If you go to a school, you must have known there are two types of students and two types of their parents. Like one who is like very happy all the time, and one who's like very sad all the time. So the happy one, you might have seen the one who scores 9 marks in the exam. It's either because of two moments. It's either because of two types of parents. First, it's like the kid might have really supportive parents. Like, yeah, I'm really supporting you. You can do whatever you want. You can do however you want. I won't stop you. I'll first explain you do wrong, but you do whatever you want. It's like, okay, you can do whatever you want, however you want. They won't stop you. They'll support you. They'll explain you. It's like the kid's life is really happy and nice. That's why the kid is really motivated to or get more things. It's like he'll get motivated, he'll get nice marks too. But then there's another kid. Imagine if his parents, it's like, okay, whenever he's doing it under pressure, it's like the parents they'll give him beatings. Like, you might have encountered this or might have not, but there are parents who are like, okay, if it's 30 marks exam, for example, you get 26, then they're like, okay, where did the 4 marks go? I mean, they won't appreciate that, okay, the child tried to get nice marks. No, they'll go like, where is your 4 marks? Why didn't you get that? You should have done better. Okay, they'll do that. They'll even beat some. There are some parents who even beat their children for that. Our generation is really understanding this thing, and happy that our generation. I've seen many of my friends. It's not like we don't talk about these things. I've seen many of my friends. They're like, no, I will never do this. I'll never do that to my child. I'm like, I'm really happy. Like, yeah, our generation is actually understanding this thing that beating your child isn't the only solution. The parental control and parental supervision are two different things, two really distinct things. It's one more example I can give right now. Like, if you see this door, whenever if I close the door, maybe my parents come like, why have you closed that door? That is when they don't trust you. But if you close that door, then okay, she might be studying, she might be doing some work, but she should get her space. Parents also don't understand one thing, who control their children. They don't understand one thing. What is privacy? They say, why do you need a privacy? Why do you need to hide something from me? Parents need to understand it's not hiding from their children. It is just like the children sometimes want to understand themselves. And that is what they want at a moment. And that is what parents sometimes don't understand. And that is what I wanted to say. Like parental supervision. If a child is really supportive, his parents are really supportive, then he might achieve big. There's another child. As I said, I have already given both of the examples, right? So what do you think? Like who will get nice future? The one who's like controlled like a puppet by his parents, or the other one who's like supported and motivated by his parents? I'd really like to get the answer. And I'd really like to thank him to give me the opportunity to say about this topic. This was a really sensitive topic, and I hope I might have enlightened you very much. So, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Tanya. Very well explained, Bida. So, who's next, guys?
May I?
Yeah, Pranav, please go on.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. This is Pranav Khatri of DAV Public School. Today, we are discussing this sensitive topic about the thin line between the parental control and supervision. A double-sided sword cuts both ways, just like this situation that has two very distinct point of views. We need to visit them separately. The control and supervision of parents are very different and distinct points. The controlling behavior of a parent is solely based on their possessiveness of us. Parents tend to get aggressive for our well-being, but this just pushes us away from them. They don't try to take the ideal path and be open with us. Our parents try to impose their views on us, intrude us, and just try to accumulate every single bit of our life by trying to get aggressive. They don't get that being aggressive doesn't go along with us. They don't even try to open up about their feelings and be straight with us, so we don't hesitate about talking about every single detail of our life with them. They just try to be aggressive and try to get every single detail. When they try to control our every aspect, we just can't develop naturally without making progress and mistakes on our own. By supervision, we mean that our parents monitor us and tell us to go on the right path when we start to get lost on the other things that are not important. But they don't get that controlling every aspect of our life is really not good for us. We need to learn on our own. The ice between controlling and supervising is very thin, but is really diverse. They try to get their way with them and try to demand things which are not ideal. Thank you. I would like to get the view from everyone that this issue is very serious. It is high time that we bring light on this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pranav. Is there anybody who'd like to add to him, guys?
Ma'am, could I express my some more views?
Yeah, sure, Bida. Go on.
Okay, first I would like to say that many of my peers have said about mutual understanding between parents and with their children. But the point is that we are all are focusing on parents. Like there is a mutual understanding between both of them, and if parents are understanding us, children should also give the parents the opportunity to just understand, and we should actually trust our parents. If they're saying that they will be act like friends with us, or they will be some lenient with us, we should not actually take the freedom too much lightly. If we are thinking that our parents are like our friends and we will do whatever we want, and they will not actually forbid us or scold us, but that's the wrong thing. Because sometimes there are children, even I have seen my friends, who just take their lenientness of their parents at too much a higher level, and we be doing things that are totally wrong at this age. And second thing I would like that my friend Tony has, I would like a person, basically a children with a supportive parents will thrive and shine more than a person with a peak of person or a child who is under pressure. But I would like to say that it's not always from the parents' perspective, but also from a student perspective. You just quote the example of Three Idiots, we all have watched it, of Farhan, that his parents were against that office wildlife dream of pursuing wildlife photographer. But the point is that we should not forget the fact that at the end, they gave him they actually exchanged the laptop with the camera so that he can pursue his dream. So we should actually have some patience. Is that we should not think that parents just control us, but having some patience, having that friendly and just understanding our point, making them understand that point is really, really important. A student should also understand this, that even our parents love us. That's why they are becoming so much overprotective and controlling us. So making them understand your thoughts side
कुछ है
also.
अभी
So Farhan example is very good
मतलब कुछ
example
है क्या यहाँ
to
पे अभी
understand
थोड़ा
both the
रुक के
facts.
कर
That
लोगे लाइव चल रहा है
in the first stage,
ठीक है
he is totally prohibited to do actually wildlife photography. But at the end, he's allowed and he's given a camera. So we should understand this fact that even parents love us, but we also need some time and patience. Thank you.
thank you so much. So is there anybody else who'd like to add to her, guys?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Sir,
may I would like to.
may I
Prachi and Pranav. Okay, Pranav, I'll just get back to you, beta. Prachi, please go on.
One quote I would like to devote to all the parents. The greatest gifts you can give to your children are the roots of responsibility and the wings of independence. I repeat, the greatest gifts you can give to your children are the roots of responsibility and the wings of independence. Well, being a demanding parent and being a firm parent needs a lot of balance between both of them. Every child is different and is different for appropriate values. Every child needs appropriate values and appropriate solutions to different sets of parenting styles. Being firm as a parent will provide guidance to regulate appropriate values in a child's behavior, while being a demanding parent can bring a sense of rebellion in the child. A parent approach has to be regulative when and when not. Otherwise, it can bring a sense of rebellion among them. The evolving rules of society may bring along pressure on most of the parents, which can be imposed onto the children. Being competitive can be healthy, but also hazardous in perspectives of extent. As you all know, that everything has its own advantages and disadvantages. It is important as to what values parents use and teach in the early stages of children's lives, as it has an impact on their growth. It can differ from parent to parent as to what can suit your child. But a definitive structure needs to be understood by parents to draw that thin line between being firm and being demanding. This line holds much more importance than you think due to the role it plays in the parenting and can affect the growth of the children. Lastly, parents know their children and can think only the best for their children. A little guidance and counseling can offer more light onto the growing graph of parenting. Therefore, never do for a child what he can do for himself. Never do for a child what he can do for himself. A dependent child is a demanding child. Children become irresponsible Only when we fail to give them opportunities to take on responsibility, children become irresponsible only when we fail to give them opportunities to take on responsibility, which is rightly said by Rudolph. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prachi. So, Pranav, you're speaking better. You can speak.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I actually agree with Davri. I agree that the feeling is mutual between parent and children. Parents and children both have important roles in the feeling which they should have to be open with them and convey their feelings with each other. But you can't expect the children to take every little beta step as much as the parents. The parents have to take one or two steps extra than the children in the relationship. They, children do not like to be controlled. They like to be guided, but the parents don't get that. The parents try to be overprotective. Overprotective is what children don't want. They want their parent to listen to them, understand them, and then guide them. Children don't like to be controlled. The feeling is mutual, but the children don't. The children can't express themselves as well as parents can. The parents should do a little bit more than the children. Thank you.
Ma'am, may I add on?
Ma'am, may I?
Lakshita and who, beta?
Aditi.
Aditi, beta, I'll get back to you. Lakshita, you may speak, please.
Thank you, ma'am. By listening to the views of all my commendable companions, I realize that parents are the backbone of a child's life. Parents always try to be the ideals, the role model of a child's life. But they should even understand that they not only the children not only want the guiding of their parent, but on the other hand, they even require their understanding, their comfort, their motivation. So the best part is to become the friend of a child. When you are able to become the friend of a child, you are able to build a mutual correspondence with them. That cordial relation will make your children even understand yourself, and thus it will make everything more clear and it will help to go with the best way. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Lakshita. Aditi, you may speak, please.
Yes, ma'am. I would like to put a question forward on this. As we know, parental control is directly related with Indian tradition or just any kind of tradition. And if we come in Indian tradition, it is said that whatever a parent say is good for the child. Whatever an elder says is good for the child. So you must obey them. And it's not right, okay? You can't obey whatever they say. You have your own passion, you have your own ambition. You know, there are few parents who wanted to become engineers or doctors, but due to some reasons, any reason, they couldn't become. And so they want their children to become that. As we're going on the statistics, most of the students are becoming engineers and medicals on the parents' pressure. So if we go, it's also on basis of the root of the tradition. So what we can do if we say to our parents that Mama, I wanna do this, not that, or I wanna become this, not that. They'll definitely say, not all the parents, but yeah, some of them will say, whatever we choose, that's good for you. Because we are your parents, we know that better. So how can we reduce that? I would like to ask from all of you.
Thank
Really
you,
nice,
Aditi.
and it's
Yes,
really nice
Ridhima.
because this is a very big question, and it's really difficult to change a perspective of some peer person. The most, at least, the most difficult thing is to change the stereotype thinking and the perspective of society and the parents. The only thing we can do is to prove ourselves to the best. It is the thing we can only do, and I think this is something that parents should understand. This is the age where we can explore the world, and they must allow us to explore. As at this time, right now, we are having someone behind us as whatever the resultant is. If we fall back in something, some situation, there's someone behind us, that is our parents, who will help us to stand up again. So that thing has to be improved or add on to the parents' behavior. That's not our thing. The only thing we can do is to improve ourselves, to prove ourselves, and make them so confident that they should trust us blindly, that whatever we are doing is good. That only thing a child can do for the purpose.
Thank you, Ridhima. Is there anybody, guys, who'd like to add to her?
Just like that.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am,
I
I
would.
would.
I'm sorry,
Yes, ma'am, I'm also.
but I cannot.
Ma'am, could I?
May I
Ma'am,
add?
Ma'am, should I speak up?
Okay, Udita, you can speak, beta. I'll get back to you, the other participants, okay?
जॉब का फोन आ रहा है तो मोबाइल नहीं है तुम्हारे पास लैपटॉप में कर लो सब हो जाएगा कर लो
Hi, Tonya. Can you please mute yourself? Thank you so much. So, who'd like to speak first, guys? There were like, yeah, Prachi,
can
beta,
I
you may speak. Pratham, I'll get back to you.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, beta.
I'm always amazed when adults say the children just do that to get attention. Just do that to get attention. Naturally, children who need attention will do all kinds of things to achieve their goal. Why not just give it to them? My question is, why not just give it to them? With a great deal of research and holding sessions with students and parents, the CBSE schools of Pune have provided and proved how atmosphere can affect the mental ability of a child. It is important as to what values parents use and teach in the early stages of children's lives, as it has an impact on their growth and on their mental condition. Any case of specific guidance would be trying different styles of parenting and using a combination to improve, such as there are some examples, for example, uninvolved parents. Under this style of parenting, parents can lower their responses in all sorts of matters to their children, yet having a little presence and authority. Second can be permissive parent. This kind of parenting can be used at the most, but only if added a touch of control. Such parenting is warm and communicative, but also offers a structure for their children. A more friendly way of parenting is permissive parent. Well, the next can be authoritative parent. A reasonable amount of responsiveness and control is the combination that authoritative parenting provides. And that is where you draw the thin line between the parental control and parental supervision. Such a parenting style can have a happier, not in life ahead of children, as it has the appropriate discipline and allows space for negotiation. As you know, that discipline is a symbol of caring to a child because the child needs guidance, and the guidance can only be provided by the life givers who are our parents. The life givers who are our parents can only provide the appropriate style of parenting which is needed for us. At last, I would like to say that it's not only children who grow. It's not only children who grow, but parents do grow. As much as we watch to see what our children do with their lives, they are watching us to see what we do with ours. I can't tell that who their children are, or how can the children reach to the rocket space or for the sun. All I can do is to reach it for myself. So just take a note that all you have to do is to reach it yourself and to try your best to prove yourself to your parents and tell what abilities and what talents you are born with. Thank you.
Thank
Mom,
you
can
so
I
much,
add on?
Prachi. Yes, beta, you can speak.
Ma'am, I would like to first say that even my friend Prachi, there was only a topic that it was one topic that between a firm and a demanding parent, but it also depends upon type. A firm parent can also be turned into demanding parent, and a demanding parent can also be turned into firm parent. Like if you are a firm parent and your children is like too much, I have also spoken earlier that if your child is taking that freedom advantage of that freedom in to a next level, that would be very wrong. And that's a time when you turn from a phone parent to a demanding parent. And also that my friend Ridhima and Prachi also spoke about that we need to prove ourselves. I would put one example. That's a very true story. Might many of you won't believe it, but some of my known there was a girl who was actually pressured by parents to give NEET exam, but she was actually interested in multimedia and all that media stuff. And what she did actually, she told her parents that she is going to give NEET exam, but she didn't give NEET exam, but gave exam of the other media exams. And she scored 17 All India rank. And that's the time when she told her parents that what they are thinking can be wrong sometimes. So we need to prove ourselves. We need to prove our abilities. We need to show them that if we are not good in something, we are excellent in the other thing. Every child is born with some speciality. No one is perfect. That's the very fact that no one is perfect. One might be good in studies and one might be good in sports. And parents should not actually, force their child if the child is good in sports to be good in studies also. And if the child is good in studies, they need to be good in sports also. That's the main fact. And there is like sometimes there are revolts and fights between parents and children about because of the differing viewpoints and perspectives. But all we need to create is to understand their points, and even students need to understand we are also not correct. If parents are sometimes wrong, we are also sometimes wrong. At last, I would just quote one thing that the sign of being great parenting is not the child's behavior. The sign of great parenting is not the child's behavior. The sign of great parenting is the parent's behavior. The sign of great parenting is the parent's behavior. Thank you.
Thank you so much, beta. Pratham, you may speak, please.
Can I
Thank you.
also?
Yeah, Aditya, I'll get back to you after him. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Discipline of thought and action through hard to master are required for a meaningful and fulfilled life. Good evening, everyone. I am Pratham Babar of DAV Public School. First of all, I really want to thank our teacher, Miss Monica Luthra, for giving us the opportunity to represent our school and to share our views on this sensitive and important topic of the thin line between parental control and parental supervision. I think that parental control is necessary for the children, as parental control does not necessarily take away the right of a child. The child stays, has his or her individual right and can speak up at the point of a parent. Net. A controlling parent doesn't mean that the child has no rights. It just means that the child's are rights somewhere limited. Parent controls are designed to help protect children from inappropriate content online. These controls can be used in a number of ways. Of example, to help ensure that your children access only age appropriate content, to set usage of times, and to monitor activity. Structure and guidance in behavior are necessary to facilitate favorable personality development. Behavioral content, to a certain extent, is a paramount in a child's health development. It aims to monitor, teach, and regulate appropriate behavior. Other reasons parents may be controlling include that they believe that they should raise a perfect child, don't want to their children to commit mistakes in their life, fear losing their children when they grow up. And that's all from my side. Thank you for everyone for listening my views.
Shall I add up?
Yes, beta, I'll just get back to you. Aditya, you were speaking.
Yes, ma'am. After listening to all my participants, I am at the conclusion that if we want to continue the thin line between parental control and parental supervision, it's only depend on children and parents how they make relations with each other. If the relation is good, it will get good results in future. But if the relation is bad, it will turn into trash result. So it all depends on these things. I'm also agree with the point that parents should take first step because children are very shy with their parents because they think how parents will react when they listen us. So parents should take initiative step to this. So that's all from my end, and thank you for this. Thank you.
Yes, Raj Nandini. Thank you so much, Aditya. Yes, Nandini, beta, you were speaking.
Good evening, everyone. Basically, I would like to add few points and my opinion on this topic. According to me, each and every relationship between a parent and a child is only because of the love, care, and affection we get from our parents. The way we want our parents to treat, we should be first acting accordingly, according to their demands, according to their faith. Students also have some responsibilities so that they could expect their parents to have blind trust. As few of my companions said that the parents should be blindly trusting on the children so that they could explore themselves, even the world as well. For the blind faith, we have to attend our parents' attention accordingly. We have to do the actions appropriately so that they could maintain the faith. Students, I'm sure that many of you have been different according to my view, but there should be students or basically the children's presence between the bond. Basically, parental control is seen over the children who are not being on the right appropriate path. Basically, this is the age when we face many of the issues emotionally, physically, everywhere. So if we want anyone, at least our parents, to be with us, we have to share each and everything, treat them as our friends, be very close to them, because no one could understand us better than them. So if we want a blind faith of our parents, we have to act according to their demands, according to their wish. Because I don't think so that anyone in the world could think much better for us than our parents. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, beta. So, is there anybody who'd like to add to her?
Ma'am,
I'm sorry, beta. Who's the other one?
Eh?
Okay, Prachi, you can speak after Tonya, right? Yes, Tonya, please
Yes,
go on.
yes, ma'am. So as I brought up the topic of Farhan and Ms. Ravi actually added to it, I'd like to add more to it. She said that we need mutual understanding and as well as patience in order that our parents understand us as well as we understand the parents. But as I told about Farhan, he was actually scared to tell his father that okay, I want to pursue this. There might be some fear inside him in his head that has been settled since his childhood. That no, if I will tell my father that I want to pursue this, he might be angry, he might be disappointed, he might not be very supportive of me. That is something he might have got it from his childhood, and I won't say that she was wrong. I also appreciate that she brought up this topic, and I think that there are many different views on this topic. And one more point I'd like to add that no one has yet mentioned yet that whenever we hear the word parental control, the first thing that comes to mind is like this is just a very very big stereotype in our country that parental control is only limited to girls. Boys don't need it. It's really like this in our country. If you actually notice it, girls can't go out after 7, boys can go whole night. That's just wrong. Because if it's control, even if it's supervision, as parent control has it is too much, let's get to supervision. So if even in supervision, it's like okay, girls have to be more supervised. Girls have to be in IS. Boys can't. Boys can do whatever they want. Boys can ride bikes. Boys can go out. Boys can do whatever they want. But girls, no. Girls have to be really, really like they're treated like fragile. And that's another reason why this can be another reason why there are so many rapes in our country. The incident, like there isn't a single day which passes without you hear a rape episode. Like, okay, this girl is being raped. This is really wrong. Because boys also, I won't say that every parent, like, but there are many parents in India who actually believe that boys don't really need this supervision at that level as girls don't want. I mean, even give an example from my experience. Like, I saw this guy who had a sister, and he was like in standard 10th, and the sister was in standard 12th. And I saw that the sister had to actually go with in a bike, but not in bike. I'm sorry. The sister had to actually go with with a parent, but the guy actually, even though he was in standard 9, he went to school by his bike, and it was like it's really wrong. Me, it was like really, I mean, kind of, you can say, annoying to me to just see that, like, he's allowed to go by bike, even though he's minor. And the girl who can actually ride, she was over 18. So even though she can ride, she is allowed to ride. No, neither was she teach, neither was she taught, and nor she was allowed. And it was a night incident. I actually saw this happening at night, and it was like really intriguing to me. I would also like to raise this question, like, what should happen in this condition? I mean, parents should understand this, right? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tonya. So, Prachi, you're speaking better. You may speak now.
Okay, so, how many of you know Narendra Modi? I'm sure all of you know the Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi. He has well said that parents give birth, the Guru gives life. These life givers are the soul of the magnificent building. The school building, which the government can construct, is like the body, but the teachers and the parents are the soul. In simple words, the parents are the soul. While talking about the thin line which can be drawn between parental control and parental supervision, the main role is being played by interaction. Communication plays an important role in the lives of children as it helps them to manage each and every sort of difference they may face in their lives. Communication builds as a bridge between the parents and the children, making it a way of showing affection and love. Here, a common misunderstanding would be given beyond limit freedom to children in order to communicate. Communication has to have some rules of privacy for both parents and children. Whereas at the same time, it should have enough level of comfort for children to talk to any kind of problem they want to with their parents. Here, being a demanding parent might not help us, as it can restrict children from opening up and leading to the development of shyness, anxiety, and mental restrictiveness. Moreover, being a firm parent can be of good help as it will allow to improve communication gaps and help children to talk about themselves. Well, I've mentioned this earlier that for younger children, we should install parental control software which will limit the number of websites the children can visit. But remember, no software can substitute for parental supervision. There is a quotation which has been said by a mom who was really good in interacting with a child, a mom who was the you can say the pillar of the soul of her child. She said, I was called a helicopter mom today. I was called a helicopter mom today. If that means that can I motivate, promote, and encourage my children to move forward and become a successful person, contributing member of the society, then thank you so much, society, for calling me a helicopter mom. Thank you so much, society, for calling me a helicopter mom. Thank you.
Can I add something?
Yeah, beta, please go on.
Think as my peer Chachi very well said that the communication is the key. But we have to understand the fact that it's not about every topic is or every point is not about sticking to parents, but also to their children. Because if for one incident, for one time, parents have scolded or beaten their child, the child has a tendency to create a mindset that for every action after this or for every mistake he or she will be get beaten or scolded by the parents. but it's not actually true. There are some circumstances that parents can't control themselves, or might, they have been thinking on the other perspective and just beaten or scolded you. But you have to also change your mindset that parents' behavior are not all the same all the time. If once they have beaten or scolded you, it's not the same that they will do it every time. They might understand you in something, they might help you, they might support you, and they might motivate you. The communication is the key from both these sides. Parents, there are sometimes, even I have seen mostly parents of even mine and friends, that parents take the first step, but the children are not able to take the second step. See, everything works step by step. If first step is taken, second step is necessary, then the process will not happen. And second thing, that patience, patience is important. Yes, patience is surely important in both the perspectives. Because if children don't have patience, like why my parents acting like this, why my parents control this and restriction, why am every we at the age of adolescence, we teenager, we actually, ought to take every restriction by our parents as a control. We think that we always think in our own perspective. If something is prohibited by our parents, we should also think why they have done so. It's not always like they are just controlling us. They even we should not understand the very fact. I would like to repeat, the very fact is that they have also gone through it. They have experienced all this, and even after experiencing all this restriction, all this provision, and all, what all happens in teenage age, they are still preventing us from doing something is actually good for us. Because what happens if we have suffered or gone through the same thing, we would actually do not, make other people also go through it. We will get some advices. That's why we should sometimes understand our parents also, and we should actually change our behavior towards our parents. At the last, I would say that there's no such thing about being a perfect parent. There is no such thing about being a perfect parent. Just be the real one. Just be the real one. Thank you.
Ma'am, may I add on?
I would like to add something.
Lakshita, you may speak after Aditi is done. Yes, Aditi, please go on.
As I do agree with my companion, Varia, as we know, we have talked a lot about bonding of a parent and a child. We must talk about the psychology of a child as well. You know, if one gets excessively pampered and cared, he or she must, the child, that person will grow less exposed to the environment. And it will be definitely difficult and hard to settle in the world out there. A child has to become rough and tough to handle the problems of his or her life. Because at last, it's not a parent who will spoon feed you for the rest of your life. It's you who will do it. Being a good parent is a really gigantic responsibility, and so being a good son or daughter is. Their responsibility will known or will become known when the child will become a parent, and the opportunity to find that thin line. When you will become a parent, you will understand what they go through. They have their own work, their homework, and lots of stuff. You have to understand their psychology. You just can't blame them that, Mama, you don't understand me. Papa, you always tell me to do the homework and all. You have to understand their psychology too. They expect that, yeah, if I have done something for you, just return it to me. That's what a parent is, they expect from a child. Thank you.
Yes, Lakshita, please go on.
Parents must supervise their children. Otherwise, outside forces would shape them, and they would not even worry how the shape looks like. Though we have been constantly discussing that it is important that for the parents to give their children freedom and have blind trust on them, but on the other side of the coin, I would like to say that as the number of distractions in this world are increasing, maybe in the name of social media or the bad company many children would be a part of, parents have to keep an eye on their children. Otherwise, in this world, their children would be lost. Though it's important to have trust on them, But it would never mean to just have a permissive attitude, a very blind trust. Because excess of anything is bad. You have to motivate them, understand them, help them, and also keep an eye on them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lakshita. So, do we have anybody who hasn't, spoken in a while? Yes, Udita, please go on. Udita, I'm really sorry to interrupt, but yeah, but you're not audible, beta. There's a crack in your voice.
Ma'am, may I?
Just a
May I add?
second, Prachi. I'll
Ma'am,
just
can
get
I
back to you.
also?
Yeah, guys, I'll just get back to you. Udita, can you speak something? Beta, you're not, audible. Can you just, check your internet connection and I'll get back to you? Is that okay? Yes.
Ma'am, can I add something?
Yes, Ridhima, please go on.
Ma'am, can I also add something?
I'm sorry, beta. Who's this? Aditya?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Aditya. You may speak after, Ridhima is done. Yes, Ridhima.
Only few words to say. As she said that it's very important that parents should supervise the things when there's a bad company or some peer pressure. I think somewhere this is also important. This is a very important part of our life. As then we fall, we learn that this is the wrong way. We shouldn't take this next time. So, in that company or something like this, some time is important to feel the feelings of that also. If we didn't, that we will not explore that. It is very missing part in our life because that will help us to inbuild ourselves. It will help us that to choose the right way only, because if we don't explore that side also, we will not be able to identify when we will be alone. At this point, we are having our friends, our family, our elders, our well wishers who will help us to come out of that. So I think some information or some idea of that also is important to be have in his mind or her mind.
Yes, Aditya, you may speak now.
Yes, ma'am. Most of our participants said that, ma'am, parents have to be patient. But according to me, in every situation, ma'am, I have heard that, ma'am, teenagers also shout on their parents and lose their calmness. So, ma'am, according to me, if we want to make this relationship successful, ma'am, we want to cooperate with both sides, ma'am, both sides should be cooperative. So, that's why patience should be, ma'am, from is very important for both sides. So because, ma'am, we know that if we want to clap, ma'am, we have need our both hands. So calmness is for from both sides, not from only one side. And if we shout on our parents, if we know if we know if we don't know what are our limits, so how do we expect from parents that they also know their limits? So point is that patience should be on both sides. So that's my point. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aditya. So, guys, do we have anybody who hasn't, spoken in a
I
while?
would like to add
I'm sorry. Prachi, you may speak after, Nandini is done. Nandini, please go on, beta.
So, ma'am, I would like to add that every bond of child and a parent is spoiled because of the lack of communication. Students generally perceive that parent is we are being controlled by our parents, but they are almost all the time wrong. I'm not talking about all, but almost they are wrong. Because parents are only supervising, they only wish for the betterment of a child, they only wish for the success of their child. The communication barrier acting as the students and the parents' life are many in this era, like social media, inappropriate friendship of a child. There could be many things which could act as a barrier between a parent and a child. So basically, a child and a parent should both try their level best so that their communication could increase. They could increase their communication levels to make their bond more better. And if we do so, I don't think so there would be a term of parental control existing. That's all, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Nandini. So, Prachi, do you want to speak something? Yes, please
Yeah,
go
ma'am, I
on.
would like to. Discipline is a symbol of caring to a child. He needs guidance. If there is love, there is no such thing as being too tough with a child. A parent must also not be afraid to hang himself. If you have never been hated by your child, you have never been a parent. Because nobody on earth can love you more than your parent do. So, not only communication, but also supportiveness can play an important role in a child's life, especially from their parents. Support from both emotional, mental, as well as physical aspects of it to help children nourish completely and lead a happy and successful life. From time to time, praises, appreciating their achievements, and work can be an effective way to help our children in achieving better. While parenting, there can be instances that demand being authoritative, but that does not implement to be a demanding parent. Instead of handling these kinds of situations with more kindness and sense of responsibility, being a supportive parent can offer a great deal of encouragement to children and develop interests and personal characteristics. Handling temper and tantrums is also one of them. So I mentioned some of the key elements that are very, very important when you are going to be a firm parent and you are going to draw that invisible line between the parental control and parental supervision. One of them was regulation. So exploring different aspects about children can help to understand their behavior and help to regulate day-to-day responsibilities. Regulation in parenting refers to interactions via modes of setting appropriate limits, discipline, and supervision. Well, parenting styles can be affected by the behavior style of the child. Yes, it is true that there is a need of the step by both the parent and the children. So it totally depends on the behavior style of the child. Increasing the importance of regulation. Every child is different, and appropriate values in a child's behavior while being a demanding parent cannot bring that sense of rebellion. So, a parenting approach has to be regulative when and when not around people, as it can leave a major impact on the child's life to attain a very successful and very happy life. So, I actually included some of the quotations by Narendra Modi, and you will be shocked to know that you are living in an India that is Atmanirbhar. So, parents can also contribute to this Atmanirbhar Bharat through this wonderful topic. He has himself said that every parent or guardian should have a thorough knowledge of the happenings at their child's school. If they find any concern, they should discuss it with the teachers. The vigilance is necessary to improve education system in India, which is the first step which you can do to contribute in an Atmanirbhar Bharat. So just go for it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prachi. So, do we have anybody, who'd like to add to her?
May I add on to that?
Yes, Tanya, you may speak after, yes, beta, you were trying to, yes, you may speak. Tanya, you may speak after she's done, right?
As one of my peers earlier said that there is so much distraction in this world and parents should not blind trust. Nobody said that parents should like blind trust their child. As I said, that supervision is important. But here comes the say that what's the difference between supervision and control is actually a thin line. I already said that which is mostly forgotten. See, being trusting your child and controlling your child is such a difference. You should have a little bit trust, have a little bit check what he or she is doing or what he or she is, talking to, sending their child. But just so too much interfere is in that will actually make things complicated. And I would like to raise a thing that we all are sticking towards parenting. Good parenting, bad parenting, parents should do this, parents should do that, parents should this and all that. But I have a second thought on one fact that why children need not to do anything. If parents should understand that there is a thin line between parental control and parental supervision, even children need to understand that there is a thin line between parental control and parental supervision. As we earlier spoke, that every action of parents is not parental control. Every action of parents is not parental control. It might be the supervision, but in our sense, it might be parental control. Even we have to understand what is being good for us, what is being bad for us. And you have to see your parents like, okay, you have parents that scold you like a little much, in comparison to all the other parents. But have you seen what they speak about you in your absence or to others? Just see, like I have this experience. I might be have a little dominating parents or whatever, but I have seen praising myself praising me in front of others in the absence of me. Just speaking good points about me, and that's the very fact that students, like many of my peers said, that parents understand us the most. That's really true. But even students and their children have to understand their parents in this. Parents, like teach us about everything. But if they're lacking in something, children should actually approach them and say them mother, father, you just said this, but I think there should be a different perspective about it. And as I earlier said, that students and parents both, every coin has two sides. Everything has some pros as well as cons. And if we are talking about only the cons, we should also talk about the pros of it also. And I earlier said that parents and children both need to understand the thin line and the distance between parental control and parental supervision.
Yes, Tanya, please go on.
Yes, ma'am. I have noticed one thing which has been spoken by many people, right? The thing that inappropriate friends, bad company, these two things. I would like to say that these are also a result of the parental control. Like when parents control the child gets more tempted to try new things, but parents like, no, no, you shouldn't do that. Then the child's like, then the child doesn't. The child now wants to do it more. It's like the child gets more and more tempted to do that thing, and that's why the child starts choosing wrong ways. Instead, if there would have been parental supervision, the students are now counted as a bad company, the inappropriate parent. Though that is also a result of what I've seen already. That if it would have been like their parents, if they would have been like kind of supportive, they would have sat down and explained to their children like how the things should have been done. Then it might be possible that the child might have not gone to the wrong path. And that is one of the factors I wanted to include in this, the inappropriate word which has been used already. That's what I wanted to talk about and add about. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tanya. So, do we have anybody else, guys?
May I, ma'am?
Yes, Aditya, but please, make it really quick. We are running out of time. Please go on.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. According to me, the biggest factor is our mindset. Because if our mindset is in positive, the results are positive. But if our mindset are negative, results will automatically is negative. So I'm giving you an example that my mother is always used to say me that why are Aditya is always you are on phone, you are always playing outside. But I am not taking
Yeah,
it
we can see
negatively.
her in the background. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, ma'am.
It
Actually,
it
some
is
guests are in
yeah, it is
my.
nothing to be sorry about, Beta. Yeah.
Yes, so yeah, that's what I'm saying. That my mother always said, "Ma'am, why are you always playing outside? Why are you always switched on phone? Give some time to study." If according to ma'am, I will not take it negatively because ma'am, my mindset is that my mindset is my mom is saying to me all of this because it is worry for my future, not for this. They are always ruling or dominating me. So that's the main point of my is my our mindset is always been positive, not in negative. No, but in some cases our mindset might be negative, but all of we are human. But We always try to be in positive mindset, not in negative mindset. So all of that, ma'am, for me. Thank you. And sorry
Thank
for my background.
It is nothing to be sorry about, beta. You were just mentioning that, your mothers always complain about you being at phone, or, being always using your phone. So I saw it in the background. That's very okay. Thank you so much, Aditya. So do we have anybody else? Prachi,
I
you,
would like to
yeah.
add something.
Yeah, Aditi, you may speak. Prachi, you may speak after, Aditi is done. Yeah, Aditi, please go on.
There are youth in the world. There are many children who are without parents, the orphans. There are children whose parents are divorced. You don't know they're craving. They crave for a happy family, of what we can't imagine. They want someone to restrict them, to give them care and love. Some children who consider their parents are too much, and they must know that what not having a parent feels like. The urge for pamperment and communication. When we all were children, when we all used to eat dirt, mud, sand, and all that stuff, we all have done it once, right? They used to restrict us, but when we didn't care much about it. But this time, now we are independent, we are big, we want liberty from the clutches of our parents. And I have seen children whose parents are less educated and they don't respect them. They feel like they are more experienced. They be like, oh, mama, what do you know? I know much about this. No, it's nothing like that. Education and experience is far more than education. You must know there are ones who taught you how to walk, how to talk, how to write. You have, if in order to want a good parent, to want an excellent parent, you have to become an excellent daughter or son. You have to give your 100% into this. Thanks a lot.
Yes, Prachi, please go on.
So I would like to start with a Hindi quote which is rightly said. फूल कभी बार बार नहीं खिलते, जीवन कभी बार बार नहीं मिलता. मिलने को तो बहुत से लोग मिलते हैं, लेकिन हजारों गलतियों को माफ करने वाले माँ बाप कभी नहीं मिलते. लेकिन हजारों गलतियों को माफ करने वाले माँ बाप कभी नहीं मिलते. So, in the development of the child, parents play many roles. They provide everything that is helpful in our development, like milk, fruits, proper time food from the two time of our physical growth. And sometimes they don't have the money for the things that we want, but they manage and provide us all those things to their child which are beyond their capacity to provide. They do a lot of things for us, but do we ever understand? They teach and explain practically and theoretically about the rituals and sanskars which are helping us today in our lives. Parents do almost all the things that make us educated and well respected in the society. They work hard day and night for their children to get education and feel proud of us when we get good marks. Their guidance and support help us to live the life that they have wanted. Therefore, let me give you an example. When the child, or you can say a young born child, he's playing with a new toy, they show their kids the right way to play with it and correct them if the kid tries to use it in a different way. The kid doesn't have the opportunity to try and figure out things out on their own. This is stopping them from their critical thinking skills and from their development. When the kid plays with other kids, these parents direct the child's behavior and how they should interact with others. Falling and getting scratches are a normal part of toddlerhood as the kid learns to walk, but the parents hover over their toddlers to avoid any minor accident. A mindly strapped knee can stress out them intensely. So you can see how tense your parents are on you, how sensitive your parents are for you. So you should understand their importance because they are the one who can provide you love and they are the one who can provide you with the most affection which you have wanted ever in your life. Thank you.
I would just like to add a little bit.
Yeah, sure, beta. Please make it really quick. Yeah.
So, there's one fact you actually said. Don't worry that your children never listen to you. Don't worry that your children never listen to you. Worry that they are always watching you. If being a parent, you're perfectly providing everything, your protection, then don't worry that your child will not be a good parent. Because what they do is they always see you. They follow the path that you are following. And I would really appreciate my peer Aditya, Prachi, and Aditi for sharing their very, affectionate thoughts about parents. Aditi rightly said that like there are some children who don't have even their parents and still they are just craving for their love and affection. After hearing all my peer thoughts, I would say that I earlier said every coin has two sides. There's some negative effects, there's some positive effects. But the very fact that parents are the one who gave us birth, they're always there for us, their love, affection, and the point is that they can never be, they are not replaceable. Their love is not replaceable. Or they provide us, the decreasing their needs and just to provide us all what others are getting is the very fact. And no one can be more good friend for and the real friend for us other than the parents. So at last, I would conclude that we all should understand a thin line between parental control and supervision, but we should not, forgot the part, the fact that parents what they always do is for our benefit, and we should understand them, and they should understand us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Beta, and thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your points. It was really a wonderful group discussion with you. Everyone would have their own point of view on, the thin line between parent supervision and the parental control. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
And for
Thank
all
you,
the
ma'am.
viewers watching us out, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more stuff like this. And I hope you guys know that, the winners will be decided on the basis of vote and the basis of the judgment of our team. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you, ma'am.